and welcome once again to Red Gaming Tech. My name is Amata. Today is still the 2nd of May, and I have some rather interesting news for you today, as we have a bit of a dispute going on between John Carmack and Zenimax, as John Carmack has actually become the subject of a legal dispute between his former and current employer. And basically, what's happened is that Zenimax Media, which of course acquired id Software back in 2009, and claims that Carmack left the company, he took various pieces of knowledge and trade secrets with him. Basically, the allegation is that these were used without permission or compensation. And this legal dispute is then further complicated by Facebook's purchase of Oculus VR, which is of course what John Carmack recently joined back in August 2013. Now, basically, what's happened is that Zenimax have basically accused John Carmack of taking knowledge and trade secrets from them to help out the Oculus VR development. And now, according to documents obtained by the Wall Street Journal, lawyers for Zenimax Media sent claims to Oculus VR saying, quote, "It was only through the concerted efforts of Mr. Carmack, using technology developed over many years at and owned by Zenimax, that Oculus founder Mr. Lucky was able to transform his garage-based pipe dream into a working reality." Now, naturally, Oculus VR have denied the claims, saying, quote, "It's unfortunate, but when there's this type of transaction, people come out of the woodwork with ridiculous and absurd claims. We intend to vigorously defend Oculus and its investors to the fullest extent." And basically, Zenimax is also alleging that when they employed John Carmack, the developer was then building technologies that were key to improving their performance and commercial viability of the Oculus Rift. And they said, quote, "The proprietary technology and know-how Mr. Carmack developed when he was a Zenimax employee and used by Oculus are owned by Zenimax. Zenimax's technology may not be licensed, transferred, or sold without Zenimax's immediate approval. Zenimax's intellectual property rights arise by reason of extensive VR research and development works done over by a number of years by John Carmack while a Zenimax employee and others. Zenimax provided necessary VR technology and other valuable assistance to Palmer Luckey and other Oculus employees in 2012 and 2013 to make the Oculus Rift a viable VR product superior to other VR market offerings." Luckey acknowledged in writing Zenimax's legal ownership of this intellectual property. It was further agreed that Mr. Luckey would not disclose its technology to third persons without approval. So basically, that's the backstory. Now, the most recent update is that John Carmack has naturally refuted these claims, which are obviously basically, at the end of the day, are accusing him of stealing technology or trade secrets or ideas or things that he learned from Zenimax that they consider their property, and he basically, of course, refuted them. Now, he said via Twitter on Thursday that nothing contained with the Rift was created at Zenimax, and he said, quote, "No work I have ever done has been patented. Zenimax owns the code that I wrote, but they don't own VR. Oculus uses 0 lines of code that I wrote while under contract to Zenimax." Now, I don't really know what to make of all this. At the moment, it seems a nice playground game of he said, she said, of course, with everyone throwing claims around, and we don't really know who's telling the truth or what have you. Obviously, none of us know what John actually did, but to be honest, I don't really think that John Carmack did this. It does seem a little bit suspicious that this has suddenly come up now, as of course John Carmack did join Oculus back in August 2013, but Oculus Rift have also only recently been acquired by Facebook in a $2 billion deal. So it struck me a little bit cynical if this seems a bit well timed from Zenimax Media to be like, they're worth a lot of money now. Hey, do you think some of that VR tech? Yep, okay, yeah, let's on it, let's get the lawyers on it. Now, I'm being slightly facetious, of course. I'm not accusing Zenimax of doing anything. I'm just being my cynical self and saying that this does seem rather well timed, and to be honest, looking at the comments of a lot of the people reading the original statements and so on, a lot of people seem to feel the same way. To be honest, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not even close to being a lawyer, so I can't even speak for the legalities or whatever. All I can say is that until we get some actual facts onto the table, it's basically impossible to make a judgment. Now, given that John, of course, has been a staple of the industry for God knows how many years, I'm more likely to believe him than anyone else, but I'm kind of reserving judgment for now until they actually get some hard facts on the table rather than finger pointing. Now, I do hope that this doesn't go to a lawsuit, as I don't want to see the Oculus held up by any legal messiness, but we're just going to have to wait and see, unfortunately. Do let me know your thoughts and opinions down below, guys. As always, I'm interested in hearing what you think, and with such a topic as this, I think the potential for discussion is high. Anyway, that is me done for this video. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.